my name is Jaiprashant Mohanram and you are watching Car Talk. Today I'm at Goa at Wagator with my colleague Ajiz to drive this. So this basically is the Tata Curve Diesel DCA. DCA here stands for dual clutch automatic, and this is the first time Tata has introduced a dual clutch gearbox on a diesel car. In fact, this is a segment leading specification of this car. You've already seen what the Tata Curve IC, that is the internal combustion engine version, looks like. Now let's jump right in and give you an overview of how it drives like, because this is the first time you're getting a diesel, a dual clutch gearbox on a diesel in this segment. And this, of course, as you know, is a SUV coupe. So let's dive right in and let's drive the car and tell you what this is all about. So I'm sitting in the back seat of the Tata Curve Diesel DSG. The thing is, I just wanted to give you a brief overview of how it's different from the electric version, the Tata Curve.EV. So first change that you'll notice is you've got burgundy interiors compared to the complete beige setup or white setup in the Tata Curve.EV. So I think this is a good touch because these interiors won't get soiled easily and they'll be easier to maintain. And overall, it looks very pleasant. The beige headliner and the burgundy, seat covers, etc. It's got a nice black, burgundy as well as beige finish to the interiors. That's one thing. And second thing, coming to comfort, whether it's more comfortable than the electric version, of course it is, because under thigh support is much better compared to the electric version. There's not much gap between my thigh but it could still be better. Maybe Tata can take a leaf out of Citroen's playbook and offer adjustable under thigh support on the Curve, IC as well. That is one thing, and even of course in the electric model. Apart from that, in terms of legroom, there's reasonable amount of space. There's enough knee room here, and there's enough headroom here. And there's the Tata Curve is pretty wide. In fact, 3 people can sit abreast and have enough space here, because in fact it's one of the wider cars in the segment, and it's wider than even the Hyundai Creta. But in terms of wheelbase, it's not, it's about 50 mm lower than the Creta, and that is why you've got a reasonable amount of space, but it's not very spacious. But you can actually manage. For normal people less than 6 foot, I think it's going to be a comfortable place. And once you pull this armrest down, it's going to be a 4-seater, and it actually improves the comfort. So overall, the Tata Curve's rear seat is a nice place to be in. It is, the IC version is better than the electric version. But if you were to compare it with, say, a Seltos or a Creta, space is lower, because this is a smaller car internally. Though the length may be nearly the same, the wheelbase is shorter. That is the reason it may be slightly smaller. So that is basically the rear seat of the Tata Curve. So I'm driving the Tata Curve Diesel DCA. So DCA here stands for dual clutch automatic. In fact, it is the first twin clutch gearbox that Tata has offered on a diesel car, and this is a first in segment feature. None of them offer. Previously only Volkswagen used to offer a DSG diesel. That is on the Vento and the Amio. Apart from that, nobody used to, at least in the budget segments. So Tata has actually hit it out of the park by offering a diesel DCA. So the highlight about the Curve Diesel is its gearbox. So the thing is, the DCA gearbox, it's not blazingly quick like, say, a Volkswagen unit, but it's very, very smooth. You nearly feel, the gear shifts are nearly imperceptible. So that is really something that Tata has really nailed. And coming from an AMT that they had on the Tata Nexon, it's like a huge improvement. So it's a big win. The only downside, I wouldn't even call it a downside, because see, generally in DSG, all the twin clutch gearboxes, most of them at least, have this character. There is a mild jerk. Sometimes, it's not all the time, some mild jerk, especially when it shifts from first gear to second gear, that is in stop-go traffic and that kind of conditions. That jerk is there even here, but it's very, very mild. It's not something that, it's going to put you off or anything. So that is one thing that I just wanted to highlight. So the gearbox is really the highlight. It's a very smooth gearbox, picks up speed effortlessly. It masks whatever turbo lag the engine may have. There is a little bit of turbo lag. When you stomp on the throttle, when you suddenly want to get a move on, that is when you feel slight turbo lag, but the gearbox really catches it well, and after that there is smooth, torquey progress. So now let me talk about the ride quality. The ride is on the firmer side. It's not completely plush, okay, but I think Tata's intentionally, kept the suspension slightly on the stiffer side. We are driving on some broken Gohan roads, and you can feel the road. Okay, it doesn't get very bumpy. You don't get thrown around or anything. But yes, there is that bit of firmness, which I think is a good thing, because when I take curves at speed, the curve really, when you take curves at speed in the curve really holds its line, and it feels sporty to drive. It feels more like a tall sedan rather than a SUV. It's a SUV coupe, so I think suspension tuning from Tata Motors is very intentional. They've intentionally made it like this. So when you encounter bad roads, you have to take it a little bit of easy. You just can't pummel bad roads with this car like you were to do on, say, a body-on-frame SUV like, say, a Fortuner or anything. The steering weighs up really well. In fact, at traffic speeds, it can feel slightly heavy. It's an electric power steering. It's got a nice weight to it. Almost feels like a hydraulic steering. And at parking speeds, it can feel heavy, and you may mistake it for a hydraulic. And some people may not like it that it's heavy at parking speeds. I, for one, have no issues because I like feel from my steering. And I think Tata's done a great job even here. But there'll be some people who complain that the steering is slightly on the heavier side. But once you are up to speed, you need that kind of heft, because that is how you'll be able to change lanes quickly and you'll be able to feel in control of the car. Now, let's talk about the engine itself. The engine is a quiet, refined performer. Tata says it's a new engine. It's called the Cryojet. It's a 4-cylinder unit, a 1500cc unit. It makes about 116 horsepower and 260 Newton meters of torque. Again, these are best in segment numbers, or are they? I think the XUV 300 offers 3XO now offers slightly more torque, but overall this is a very tractable, powerful engine. It's very smooth, and you can hear it. It's not unrefined, but you can hear the engine as you get a move on. You know that it's a diesel that you're driving, but vibrations completely minimal, and harshness almost non-existent. It's not a harsh engine. You don't get that diesel clatter inside the cabin. However, outside you can hear the engine. When you park the car and the engine's running, you know that there's a diesel under the hood. This is not Hyundai or a Kia Smooth. So, just to put the thing in perspective. This car has got level 2 ADAS. It's got lane keep assist, lane departure warning, adaptive cruise control, automatic emergency braking. This is basically the ADAS suite. It also has blind spot assistance. Okay, so these are the main features of the ADAS that the Tata Curvv diesel offers. I think this will be the same in the petrol as well. So overall, it's a nice car to drive. If you're just chilling, it's a fantastic gearbox, because it really, you can actually, it's got a dual character, Jekyll and Hyde, if you will. If you're driving slowly, it responds. It's almost, it's like torque converter, like there's no jerks. Even if you're riding hard, there's no jerks. Only thing is absolutely low down, slightly jerky. Now I'm driving on narrow Goan roads. What you have to keep in mind is this is actually a wide car. It's around 1810 millimeters wide. It's actually wider than the Creta and the Seltos. It's almost the same length. Wheelbase is slightly lower. Now talking about the driver's seat, etc. The cabin is a nice place to be in. You've got this nice burgundy shade, and burgundy, black and beige. This is a nice premium looking shade, and I like it that they've not gone for all beige or all white interior, because that'll get soiled in Indian conditions, and this I think will be nice to maintain over a period of time. Getting a driving position is very, very seamless. You've got a adjustable steering for height adjustable steering. Of course, it's not telescopic. And then you also have a 6-way adjustable driver's seat, which is also ventilated. It's got a 3-stage ventilation function. The 6-way adjustable seat makes sure that you can get a comfortable driving position. Anybody can. And you also have the height adjust. Once you set it on the highest mode, at least for me, I can see the bonnet. So visibility is great, most places. But since this is a coupe SUV, the rear windscreen is quite small. You can't really see much. It's inclined, and the glass area is small, so you really can't see much out of the rear. But of course, you have a 360-degree camera here, so you don't really have to worry about reversing, etc. Plenty of visibility. Mirrors are wide. Overall, I think getting a nice driving position and being able to drive this car comfortably is going to be no problem. The ergonomics are spot on. There are no ergonomic issues that I faced, except in the rear seat when I've already told you about it. The under-thigh support could have been better, but it's not. These are not deal breakers, but yeah, they could have been. These are smaller, minor issues that I found. But overall, yeah, that is how the cabin feels like, and you've got a massive touchscreen here. This is also there in the electric version. Overall, the layout is the same, only the colors are different. In the electric, you have all beige. Here you have the burgundy, black and beige. So basically, I'm shifting it in manual mode. I'm downshifting. So it's in 5th gear. Now it's in 4th, 3rd. There is a little bit of lag sometimes when I'm using the paddle shifters. I'm not sure why, but there is a little bit of lag sometimes. Now in 3rd gear. The nice thing about the manual mode is that it actually holds the gear for a while, and that is how it should be. And here it actually holds for quite a while and upshifts only with absolute top, and that really gives you a nice kick basically. So manual mode is pretty good in this car. So here are my closing comments about the Tata Curvv DCA. The biggest standout on this car is the dual clutch automatic gearbox. It's a first in segment. It's a really nice pairing. The engine's powerful. The DCA gearbox really gives it that legs and it makes it very responsive. Diesel plus DCA. It's a nice combination and it's a first in segment feature. You don't really get this feature anywhere else. Apart from that, the looks, you have it here. Looks really nice. It looks really fetching. I really like it in this color. The ride and handling, it's pretty sharp. This is basically a car that actually enthusiasts can buy. Enthusiasts who do large monthly distances, want to drive quite a lot, they can actually buy this car. So overall, it's a nice driving package. It's got a firm edge. It likes to be thrown in, around in corners. So it's got that sportiness because this is basically SUV coupe. It's meant to be sporty. It is sporty. And the diesel DSG is what, the DCA is what really changes the game here. And it's a huge improvement over the AMT. So that is basically my closing remarks on the Tata Curvv DCA diesel. And now you can tell us what you think about the Tata Curvv diesel DCA in the comments below. And you like this video, you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe to Car Talk. And as always, thank you very much for watching Car Talk.